the biggest shake-up of Welsh rugby for nearly 20 years. But cutting the number of professional regional sides from 4 to 3, according to the Dragons Director of Rugby, would be detrimental to the game's long-term future. The proposals are included in a report commissioned by those running the game in Wales, and they come after another poor season for the Welsh regions on the pitch and increasing financial pressures off it. Well, Thomas Davies is at the home of the Ospreys for us in Swansea tonight. Thomas.
Yes, Lucy, and the Ospreys are preparing for a derby match here on Sunday. But the talk today has not been about the game, but about the very existence of the 4 regional sides. Getting rid of one region and ploughing more money into the remaining ones is just one proposal. But the fans I've spoken here today say it's a non-starter, while the visitors here on Sunday, the Dragons' Dean Ryan, says the proposals would harm Welsh rugby. Rivals on the pitch, but could 4 regions soon become 3? The proposal from an independent report emerged after another poor season. Not a single game was won by Welsh sides in European competition. Not one region qualifying for the URC playoffs. But for the fans, the possibility of a merger or a region being wiped off the rugby map has caused dismay.
If you cull one team, no team wants to be the team that culls. And if you cull one team, the other 3 teams will remain the same. So, it's we've had a series of chief executives, very different, and they've all got really nowhere in solving the problem.
Nobody welcomes it, and I think it would be completely the wrong thing for Welsh rugby. It wouldn't work.
We're always going to be unhappy when rumours like this circulate around teams potentially being removed. And I think one of the really key things here is to make sure that there is proper engagement with supporters groups as well.
But is keeping 4 regions sustainable? Getting rid of one would certainly ease the game's financial problems. In 2020, the regions had expected to share £26 million, but it dropped to just £3 million because of the pandemic. A loan was negotiated by the Welsh Rugby Union to help keep the regions afloat, but the £20 million will have to be paid back by the regions themselves. This new report estimates potential savings of nearly £8 million if one region was to close down.
If you reverse engineer a financial sheet, you might arrive, it works better in 3. I don't believe that works better in the long-term future of rugby in Wales, which is already facing challenges of how to develop players through to the competitive end of the game.
Since regional rugby replaced clubs in 2003, the domestic game has been far from stable. 5 sides were initially created before the Celtic Warriors were disbanded a year later. And 3 years ago, plans to merge the Ospreys and Scarlets were later ditched amid an outcry from both sets of fans.
I'm not knocking players, but some of the prices and the wages that are around are extortionate, and probably it's not sustainable for the game in Wales. We're not that financially safe, shall we say. So look, I think sense needs to prevail. I think if you want to look at long term, it has to come from the grassroots.
The report says Welsh Rugby must immediately develop a sustainable commercial funding model for the next 10 years. The body which runs the game here will consider their next move at a meeting next week. Until then, uncertainty over the future of Welsh Rugby continues.